What's up, guys? On this week's show,
it was hardcore.
My name is Barry Allen.
And it's all a part of the show?
All that and more on this episode
of One Giant Leap for Geeks.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for
Geeks. Welcome to another episode of OGLFG, where we talk about movies, video games, and all things in geek culture. I'm your host, Mike C. Squared, and with me is my lovely co-host, A-Train.
What's up?
Now, before we get started, I want to let you know, if you enjoy the show, tell some friends about us. Share us on your social media, whatever you choose to do. Just know that you're helping us let others know about the best damn podcast they probably never heard of. Now, if you want to talk to us, the show is on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. You can get a hold of our resident DJ Melly Mel at Froggy Beaver. What you been doing?
This week, so far, just working. I've worked my 2 out of 3 days this week. So
lucky fucker.
So this week is a short week that ends in pie and shopping.
Mm-hmm. Pie.
It's Thanksgiving. I just keep seeing that meme everywhere.
You like the pie filling. I was going to say, you don't even like pie.
No.
That's why we said it was like pie.
No, I get my special stuff.
Yeah, you just get the filling off to the side in a bowl made specifically for you. I'm like, that's a bitch. That's like 4 pieces of pie in that bowl. This is some shit.
Okay, so my dad has been doing this for me for years because I don't eat pie crust. So he pours the leftover pie filling in a bowl leftover from the other 2 pies, and he just bakes that for me. And I get to eat that with a bunch of whipped cream.
There is no such thing as leftover pie filling, all right? He either skimps on the pies that he makes for everybody else, or you just get in a box for yourself. There is no leftover pie filling. What kind of shit? Lucky. But yeah, besides that.
Little update from a few weeks ago. I have my phone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Still no car.
Still no car.
Phone, though. Phone's good.
Phone like halfway because they still can't figure something out.
Yeah.
But it's workable, so.
Yeah, mostly good.
Yeah, thankful for that, but still no car.
Yeah. No,
hopefully soon.
No whip. Still no whip.
It's all right. What have you been doing?
Not a whole lot of note, but there was something that happened last night. I don't know what kind of rabbit hole or mood I was in, but I didn't even tell you about this yet.
Oh God.
So you're going to hear it with the world premiere exclusive on One Giant Leap for Geeks. So we are going to be reviewing a movie today, and it's going to be a more condensed episode. I work retail, so I'm getting into Black Friday mode. And just the holidays coming and everything else, I didn't have a lot of time to commit to a full episode like I wanted to, like I would normally. So I figured I'd give you guys a little movie news this week and a movie review. But in the movie that we watched, there was a sad scene with a dog, okay? And that must have just hit me some kind of way because I fell down a rabbit hole in the bedroom last night when you went to bed. And I was just watching sad dog videos.
Aww.
like dogs who were mourning the death of their owners and shit. Aww. And I cried I was in the room just why am I doing this?
Oh my God.
There was one where they were at the funeral and it was a military funeral, it looked like, because they had the flag over the casket and stuff, and everybody was sitting and the owner's dog was at the very front, laying on the floor, in front of the casket. Aww. And was just whimpering and stuff. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is so horrible. I was like, why am I doing this? And then there was another one where they were at a cemetery and the dog was at the headstone crying and stuff. And it was all making noises like that. And I was just like, oh no. I was like, this is so sad. Why am I doing this to myself?
As our dog is attacking both of us.
I know, right? I know. He's literally chewing on my hand as I speak. But yeah, that was what I did last night. I don't know why I'm a masochist like that, but that's what I chose to do with my time. All right, moving on.
Master, I promise I will not cry at your headstone. I will be a liberated woman, so to speak.
nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of the stupendously awesome sauce, bombastic, spooktacular edition of Mostly Movie News. First this week, it seems that the Flash movie is still happening? Question mark? Ezra Miller's version of the Flash character that debuted in Batman vs. Superman and made his big splash in Justice League is still set to be made, but production has been pushed back all the way till 2021. This time it's not because the director actually dropped out of the movie, but more so because Ezra Miller will be filming Fantastic Beasts 3 for someone's enjoyment. That being said, I am being optimistic about this film still. I was lukewarm, but more favorable than anything else to Ezra Miller's Flash compared to everything else that we got out of Batman vs. Superman and the Justice League. But I have a bit more confidence instilled in me because I do like Andy Muschietti as a director, and I think that he may bring a new, fresh flavor to the character that we've not seen on screen before and have needed for some time now. So here's hoping. And in other Warner Brothers related news about something being delayed, Godzilla vs. King Kong will not be coming out until November of 2020. Its original release date was scheduled for May 29th, 2020. Then it got moved up to May 22nd. Then it was moved up again to March 13th, but now has been pushed all the way back to November 20th of 2020. Toby Emmerich, film chief at Warner Brothers, said that they wanted to make sure that it was a A+ film, so they were giving it a little bit more time in the oven, so to speak. It wouldn't be a surprise to anyone after seeing the box office for Godzilla King of the Monsters, which made $385.9 million worldwide on a budget anywhere from $170 to $200 million. Why Warner Brothers would probably not want to be in a rush to release Godzilla vs. King Kong, even though this is their Batman vs. Superman of their respective universe. Hopefully it doesn't turn out as such. And in other news, real-life Tony Stark, Elon Musk, is out here fucking up again. Mr. Musk gave a demo presentation of his new quote-unquote Cybertruck, which looks more like a pixelated car from like a Nintendo 64 game, but still, that's besides the point. He did a demo where it was shown to supposedly have indestructible glass. A man came on stage with a steel ball, threw the ball at the window, and it cracked, which was quite embarrassing for everybody on stage, especially Elon Musk, who said, "Oh my fucking God," audibly after it happened. Though that could have been a fluke, so we totally understand. So they tried the same test again on the rear window, and that window broke as well. So after doing some research, Elon Musk tweets out, "Yep, sledgehammer impact on door, cracked base of glass, which is why steel ball didn't bounce off. Should have done steel ball on window, then sledgehammer the door. Next time, ... So just to give you some context, they were doing all these kind of tests to the vehicle just to show how strong and durable it was. And they use a sledgehammer to hit the door, which went off without a hitch. Nothing happened. They had a sheet of the glass that was not actually on the car, on like a base, and they were dropping a steel ball from like various heights onto it, showing how it wouldn't break. They hit the car door with the sledgehammer, then later did the glass with the steel ball test, and that's when it broke, which I would be inclined to believe that if the back window hadn't broken as well. It is a 4-door. There is no reason that the back window should have broken if the base of the glass was broken in the driver's side, the front driver's side. So yeah, but he did tweet out a video of them testing throwing the steel ball at the glass prior to the actual demonstration, and some people have postulated that maybe it caused a failure point that was not visible in the glass, and after doing the test and then doing the demo on stage, that was enough to break it, which still does not make sense for the rear window. Just saying. Oh, and on a side note, yeah, indestructible glass sounds cool and all, but if you ever get into a car accident and this son of a bitch flips upside down, good luck trying to get out of the car, and good luck hoping that the fire department has some Tesla flamethrowers to get your ass out of there, because if you can't break the glass, I don't really see how you're getting out. So, yeah. And finally, in video game related news, am I going to give my review of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? Yes, but not at this particular moment. It's coming, though. But a man in China spent more than $1 million on a character in a video game, and his friend accidentally sold it for less than 500. Lu Mao spent nearly 10 million yuan, which is about $1.3 million US, developing a character in a game called Justice Online, a customized character that had been accidentally listed on an in-game marketplace by Mr. Muao's friend Li Moshing. Mr. Moshing had been trying to return the character to his friend after being given it to play, however made an error due to being, quote, dizzy from excessive gaming. A judge ruled that the character needed to be returned to the original owner and that the damages of 90,000 yuan must be paid to the player who bought the character for the discounted price. The court also warned people about the dangers of spending too much time playing video games. This happened after China has announced strict curfew measures to try and combat video game addiction. Children under 18 in China are banned from playing video games more than 90 minutes a day on a weekday and no more than 3 hours a day on weekends and holidays, trying to use these measures to help protect the physical and mental health of minors. The new laws in China also prevent children under 16 from spending more than 200 yuan per month on in-game items. All right, that is it for this edition of Mostly Movie News. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time.
You keep calling Elon Musk the real-life Tony Stark. I would challenge that assertion and offer he is the real-life Lex Luthor.
Nazi punks! Nazi punks! Nazi punks! Fuck off! That was basically what the motherfuckers was doing up there.
Sound like you said Nazi punts.
Yeah, I know. I was fucking it up. It's hard to say Nazi punks over and over again. I don't know. But if you guys have not heard of Green Room, it would not surprise me. This wasn't like an indie release per se, but it got a wider release, but it wasn't like a wide release. Like most cities, that probably weren't in like a metropolitan area or, something equivalent to that probably didn't even get this movie.
I had never heard of it.
Yeah, it picked up a lot more steam once it went, to digital and, like DVD and stuff like that. But it was a sleeper. It kind of went under the radar, and it's a shame because it's a really, really good movie. So for those who haven't listened to one of our reviews before, how we do these is what we would normally do for a newer release is we would do it mullet style, where it's not spoilers at the front, spoilers at the back. But since this movie is a few years old at this point, I think it's safe to go ahead and just do a spoiler review outright. So you have been warned. If you haven't seen Green Room yet, stop listening to this. Go back and watch the movie, then come back and listen to this. Or just let us spoil it. It's up to you, but you have been warned. I was really taken aback by a lot of different things in this movie that I was not expecting. I want to start off and talk about the cast because I think that the casting was good, not so much as in, and I do think that they were all good actors, good to decent actors. I don't think anybody was like bad in the movie where I was like, oh, that's unbelievable, or they're like a weak link. Like, some were stronger than others, yes, but I believed everybody was the character that they were playing.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with how well everybody seemed to get along, because they really made me believe like they were a band, like they were either friends beforehand, maybe classmates or something, maybe they worked together, or they just came across each other in whatever manner, but it really felt like they had been like on the road and doing this, and they kind of had like a shorthand with each other. Even down to just like little things like them having the little like broken in half skateboard on the back of the bicycle.
Yeah.
So like 2 people could be on the bike at the same time. So it's little things like that, because they don't spend a lot of time in the movie giving you a lot of character stuff.
No.
Like they kind of get right into the story like within the first like 10 minutes or so. Like it doesn't take long for the plot to get to going. So you don't really get time to learn much about these people.
Mm-mm.
You know, you pretty much catch their names,
and that's about it.
and they talk about their band, and like when they have the little scene where they're doing their interview and they're talking about their desert island band, that's supposed to be a moment where like you kind of learn something about them, and that's supposed to like speak to who they are, especially when they call back to that moment again later.
Yeah.
And they say what their real, you know, desert island band would be, and the one dude's like Prince or whatever. Like it's supposed to be like talking to their personality types. I thought that was cool. But yeah, no, we got Anton Yelchin in this, Imogen Poots, Sir Patrick Stewart, excuse me, get it right. Aliyah Shawkat, and a few others that I haven't seen in much of anything else outside of this, so you know, I don't know if the names will mean anything to anybody, but no, I feel like everybody played well off each other. I want to talk about the man himself, Sir Patrick. What did you feel? How do you think he did as a villain in this? Because he doesn't do, at least not that I am aware of, like villainous roles. Not usually.
I haven't seen him in anything like that.
Yeah. Well, but how did you take him as a villain in this?
He was alright. He wasn't like, I feel like a lot of people respected him.
Yeah.
Because he didn't really have to be like all up in your face or like mean per se. He just said something and they went.
Yeah, I thought it was really, his performance was really subdued.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, he didn't really raise his voice a lot. You know, he wasn't, like, slamming shit and shooting motherfuckers and all this.
No.
You know, he would talk real calm, cool, and collected. Like, he... there's points in the movie where he's just, like, trying to coerce them to kind of just come out the room.
Yeah.
This is definitely a last stand film. Like something like Assault on Precinct 13 or The Strangers or something like that, where they're, you know, stuck in a confined space and they're trying to survive the night kind of thing. And they spend a good majority, I mean, it's appropriate that they call the movie Green Room because 90% of the movie takes place in the green room. Like they leave the room, then they go back in the room. And then they find like different levels to where they get under the room.
Yeah, they go under the green room.
Right, but they're still basically in the green room. And so, you know, there's moments where he's trying to coerce them to kind of come out, and he's like, yeah, you know, like we don't want to see nobody get hurt. You know, it's all good. Like, you know, the police on their way, and yada yada. And after a while, once it's becomes apparent, like, okay, the police ain't coming.
No.
He just straight up, he'd be like, look, y'all trapped. He like, that's not a threat. But I'm just saying, you know, like, I'm not saying we gonna do nothing to your ass, but you ain't getting out of here. I'm just saying, like, so just give us the gun and, you know, yada yada. And it was just, it was interesting to me how he could still come across with like menace and stuff like that without being some snarling, like,
oh yeah,
you're like, oh, you fools, and we'll skin you alive. And you know, like, he didn't do any of that. He wasn't like choking his subordinates out in the corner and shit because they fucked up. I mean, yeah, he'd slap you upside the head or some shit if you was fucking up, but, you know, he wasn't. It was never a time where I felt like, oh, he just gonna snap and just strangle the shit out of somebody. Like, he was real a matter of fact about everything, and I appreciated that in a villain because I fully expected him to be some. I mean, yeah, he dropped some N-bombs and shit because they all skinheads and all this crazy shit, but it's really interesting how he chose to come at the character, and I thought that was interesting. Because we see from the beginning that they're having like a hard time, so you feel for them even though you don't really get to learn a lot about them. Did you have the same problem that I had? Because initially I didn't like them because they was stealing motherfuckers' gas and shit. Oh
yeah, they were like siphoning
and they had
gas.
Drove through like the cornfield and like was drunk and fell asleep, and I'm just like, I don't like these people.
No.
Did you have that problem in the beginning? Like, did it?
I didn't know where it was going.
Sure.
So that was like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, because we didn't watch a trailer. I knew about this movie before we had seen it, but you hadn't seen anything about this.
No, I had no idea. I went in completely blind. But I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and the further the movie went on, I'm like, what happened?
I think for me in the beginning, I didn't care for them because of how they were presented as characters. Because they were just doing some shady shit, and I was just like, oh man, these are just some shitty kids. That are just trying to, like, they're going through the phase of rebellion, and they're like, oh, we're going to go be a punk band, and we're going to travel and be on tour, and they're like, in little fucking, they playing at like a fucking Denny's at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and shit for like 4 people. They got like $6. And I'm like, oh, I don't even fucking like these people. But the more the hardships kept piling up on them, it kind of brought me around to them. And I'm like, okay, I may not like some of the stuff that y'all do, but they're good people for the most part. And they're just trying to get by and chase their dreams, and shit's just not going well.
You can tell, like, they're genuinely good people because they didn't want to hurt anybody.
No. They were very distraught about the whole situation, and when they did have to kill people, they were not enjoying it.
No, not one bit.
Like, oh, some revenge shit. It was literally like, if I don't kill them, they are going to kill me. Like, right now. And speaking of the killings, we see there's a lot of unexpected moments in this movie. Not like twists per se, but more like it like subverted my expectations. Like, for example, when Sir Patrick Stewart convinces Anton Yelkin's character to give them the gun. Finally. They take the bullets out because they think that's going to help them somehow. They know that they have guns outside the door.
Exactly.
They're like, we're not going to give you the gun with bullets in it. It's like, what does it matter, man? If they want to shoot you, they could shoot you through the fucking door.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, is they were really being meticulous about how they killed them because they needed to make it look like an accident, or they had to set a crime scene.
Yeah.
So they was trying their best not to just go in guns blazing and shit. Like, Patrick Stewart's character made it a point to keep reminding them, like, do not go in there and get to shooting crazy. And he's like, if you do shoot them, don't, keep the groupings tight together because you got to pull the slugs out afterwards and shit, so they can't trace the forensics and yada yada. But the moment where he convinces him to give him the gun, and they grab him, I knew, like, okay, they're gonna grab him or something like that. And the girl, she's like looking down through the little vent thing at the bottom of the door, and she's like, what did she say? We're dying?
We're all gonna die or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something to the
They're
effect of
gonna
that.
kill us
Yeah.
or...
Yeah, and because she saw the other dude's shoes and shit as he was opening the door, and like they grab him and they're all screaming and they're like hitting him with shit to get him back. And when they pull him back in, his arm is just like dangling and there's blood gushing. Like, these motherfuckers just trying to cut his arm off through the door. It was so, and that was the first thing that we see of violence in the movie, because,
and it escalated quickly.
Yeah, because we see the girl dead when he goes back to get the phone, how this all pops off in the first place, but we don't actually see any violence being committed to anybody until that point.
Yeah.
And even then, you see him on the other side of the door, but you don't see what they're doing to him until he pulls his arm back in, and you're just like, oh my God. And from that moment on, I was just like, oh, okay, so it's going to be one of these kind of movies. Because I'm like, they was not holding shit back. And it was just like moment after moment like that. Like, another one was when they was trying to choke out the bouncer and they gutted them.
Yeah. I was just like, I didn't know. I
believe that was the first time you turned away.
I'm like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to watch this anymore.
Oh yeah, it's very, very visceral violence. Like, I didn't think it was gratuitous. I didn't think they celebrated the violence in the movie.
No.
But they didn't turn away from it either. Like, when the motherfucker got stabbed, you saw him get stabbed. When she gutted him, you saw the blade slit up his stomach and it opened up. They peeled open like an orange.
And how sharp was that box cutter?
I know, right? Because, I mean, she went through him like fucking butter. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Big
man.
Justin.
Yeah. It was just like different moments like that throughout. Or when they hook up with the skinhead dude.
Yeah.
And because they find out the reason that the girl got killed in the first place was because they found out she was going to leave the Klan or the whatever the fuck they call themselves. I don't fucking know. But they didn't know that she was going to run away with that dude.
Yeah.
And when they find out, he's like, okay, well, I got to help y'all get out of here because I got to get out of here because they're going to kill me too. And so they went and he's like, oh, I can help get us out of here, this, that, and the other.
I know where a gun is.
Yeah, he was like, because I know something that you don't. He's like, I know where, and he's like getting the shells, and he goes to reach for the shotgun, and they blow half his fucking face off, and the other bartender that was there earlier in the movie, he's like, too late or whatever, and I'm like, fuck, man. I was like, every time something like that happened, I was just like, Jesus Christ, like, I appreciated that. Or when the dog eats the kid's throat out and shit.
Yeah, I was like, I knew there was dogs, but I did not think that they were gonna be like destroying their bodies.
Yeah. Or I didn't think that they would show as much as they did.
Yeah,
because usually, even in rated R movies, usually they would cut away. You'd hear it, but it would just kind of be left up to actually see him like coughing up blood and the dog's just like shaking his fucking throat out and shit. And I was like, fuck, man.
A great movie.
I know,
watching
as I
right
keep
before
like
bed.
peering over at my dog and I'm like, don't you ever do me like this. Don't you ever. But I appreciated though that the deaths are intense and they felt real.
Yeah.
There was like no monologues and shit where a character's like, give this letter to my dad.
Yeah,
tell
they
my
just
girlfriend I love her.
died.
It was just like, no, like when the motherfucker got shot, it boom, dead.
Exactly.
Like when the dog ripped your fucking throat, dead. Like
Actually,
there
he was still breathing. They were gonna let him bleed out.
No, that was a dude. That was the little karate dude, the one that broke the bouncer's arm, the one who crawled out the window.
Okay.
And then he was clubbing him in the head and shit. He was the one that they said to let bleed
Oh,
out.
okay.
Because I thought that he was gonna come back at the end. Because I was like, well, maybe he's not dead. Because he was the only one where it wasn't like definitive, like, yeah, no, he's dead.
Yeah.
Like everybody else, it was like, there's no way they walking away from that shit like they're dead. With him, it was like, well, he maybe, who knows? We'll see. But I just appreciated the fact that they didn't make it an issue of we're going to give these characters these long drawn out deaths. Like it's like boom, one and done. We're in and out. It's over. I did appreciate though. I never knew who was going to die and when. Like as the movie went on, I kept thinking, oh, okay, I know how this is going to play out. I know where this is going to go. But it always kept surprising me. And I was never quite sure when there was going to be a moment where they were going to try to escape or confront somebody like, okay, who's going to live through this?
Yeah.
Because I figured Anton Yelkin's character, after he got his arm all fucked up, I was like, okay, he ain't going to make it to the end of this shit.
I didn't think he was going to.
Even though he was like the biggest name in the movie, besides like Patrick Stewart, I thought that just because of how it was playing out up until that point, I was like, he finna fucking die.
Yeah.
I'm like, they finna fucking kill this motherfucker like immediately. What could possibly be worse than being stuck in Klan country in like a neo-Nazi compound after you've witnessed a murder and knowing that they're trying to kill you? What could possibly be a worse case scenario than that?
I don't really know.
Being stuck in Klan country in a neo-Nazi compound after witnessing a murder with people trying to kill you that are actually pretty goddamn good at what they do. Because that was one of the things that was really refreshing about this, is that the villains are so smart.
Yeah.
Which makes it a little bit harder to buy them escaping and all that shit by the end, but the body count was high on their end. Because it was like, there was no, in the team all made it except that one dude. No, they killed everybody but Anton Yelkin's character. Now, the one girl, she was there, but she wasn't a part of the band, though.
No.
She was already there. And
She was part of like the house band for this.
Yes. For the neo-Nazis and shit.
Yeah, so she kind of knew what was going on.
Yeah, because they was like, why are you here fucking with these people and shit? Like, why are you even caught up in this bullshit? And she was basically like, I just wanted to belong to some shit. Like, I don't fucking know. And that was like the one guy, the main guy that kept having to take care of shit, like the one that called 911 and all that shit.
Yep.
He was never like cutthroat like the rest of them was. He was, cause like them younger dudes, they was just like ready to geeked up to kill a motherfucker. He was stabbing his brother and was happy about the shit. I'm like,
yeah,
these motherfuckers is crazy. But no, he was a lot more like, I just want to fit in somewhere.
Exactly.
And I don't like this shit. I don't
But he
get no
did it.
enjoyment of killing these people or helping these people to get killed. But, you know, I want to be a part of some shit, so I'm just kind of going with the flow and doing what I'm told. Because he had a lot of remorse, you know, throughout it and especially at the end. Because he actually did go find some people and was like, hey, you know, we need the police, we need some help.
Yeah.
So I was surprised he actually did it. I didn't think he was going to. But I wanted to know, like, what did you think is as far as like the intelligence of the villains and like how they went about setting up everything with the kids? Like, do you think that they could have went about this in a different way?
They could have, but I think they've done this before.
Oh yeah, because they even had a song that was going to be the cue for, hey, when this song starts playing, it'll be, you know, loud enough or whatever so you can kill this bitch and won't nobody hear it.
So they've got this down to a science.
Yeah, and they got a dude with dogs specifically to eat these motherfuckers up and shit. So yeah,
they put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
My only problem with it was, after a point, it was like, man, y'all don't even need to do all this shit to try and like, oh, you know, well, if you shoot him and this, that, and the other and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, y'all could have just like filled the room with gas and made them all just asphyxiate or at least pass out.
Yeah.
You know, or, well, no, they wasn't gonna burn that bitch down because they had all their fucking heroin down in the basement and shit. So it was like, no. So I was like, they could have just set the thing on fire, but like it was an electrical fire because they sent everybody home because they said that the breaker was fucking up anyway. But no, that's not how that went.
They were already ready to kill.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it was just something about just the setup, and then they were gonna make it seem like, oh, they were trespassing on their property trying to siphon gas, and the dogs killed them. Because that's why they were talking about don't shoot them and this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah.
Or don't break the bones.
Yes, yeah. Don't cut through the bone. Yeah, because it was like, it'll be believable from the machete wounds that it was the dog, but if you cut through the bone, it's like the dog ain't gonna do that.
Exactly.
Not without sitting and just gnawing at that one spot, and you'd be able to tell, too, how the cut was. I mean, there's just so much dread in this movie that I thought they were all going to die. Like, every time they got a leg up, like, they were immediately knocked back down.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's so many moments throughout where I was like, oh, okay, like they can survive this. And then it would just go to shit. Like, when they found the low floorboards and shit, there was something underneath there. I was like, oh, this is how they gonna get out. No. When they come across a neo-Nazi dude that wants to help them and shit. Like, damn, like, they didn't even make it outside. I was like, fuck, man. And they had let the dog. I'm like, the dog gonna come back and kill him. I'm like, something gonna happen. Like, that dude they let go is gonna come back and kill him. I was like, man, they not gonna get out of this. So you're welcome for, you know, ruining your Thanksgiving. Especially talk about when they chop the arm up when they give him the gun, or when the dog's ripping the girl's face off and shit. Yeah.
And then after you're done eating,
yeah.
on Netflix.
Yeah, bring the whole family together. Get Grandpa and little Timmy, sit them down and say punk rock Nazis and fucking murderous pit bulls and shit.
It's the feel-good movie of the year.
To me, it wasn't as satisfying as I had wanted it to be. Like, it was just kind of weird how...
I wanted to see the cops come or something.
Something, yeah. And just how it ends with he finally figured out what his desert island band is going to be after everybody else has said theirs.
Yeah.
Even the girl that survived with him, who wasn't a part of the band, she even said one.
Exactly.
And then she's like, tell somebody who gives a shit or something like that. And it just goes off. But no, just how they killed Patrick Stewart's character, like, he just kind of, like, storms off and then starts pulling the gun out. And it's like, why didn't you, like... It was almost like he was dueling somebody. Like, they went back to back and had to walk 10 paces and turn around. Because I was like, then...
It was very dramatic.
Yeah, and then after they shot him in the back like 4 times, then he turns around and, like, shoots at him. And I'm like...
And then they shoot him in the head.
Yeah, and I was just like, that was just so weird how that happened. Like, okay. I don't know. Maybe I just wanted to see him get mauled to death by a dog or something. I don't know.
Give him a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah, something. But overall, though, it's a really good movie. I mean,
If you like gore and violence and
Yeah, like I said, if you like movies like The Strangers or Assault on Precinct 13 or any of those Last Stand kind of movies, the Survive the Night kind of movies, like this is a good one. This is and it subverts expectations like a lot. Now, obviously, I hope you've already seen it and you have already formed an opinion about it because you're listening to this, and we spoiled the shit out of it, but like I'm gushing over it quite a bit. Is there any caveats or issues that you have with it that besides the ending? Because I know we're going to have different ratings because I know that you didn't enjoy it as much as I did.
No.
And I purposely didn't want to talk to you about it beforehand because I wanted to...
I went straight to bed.
Yeah, I wanted to see what your genuine reaction was going to be for the first time we recorded. So that's why I wanted to make sure if there's anything else.
I don't think so, no.
Okay. All right, so... If you've never listened to one of our reviews before, we have a 5-tier rating system. A-Train, explain your rating system to the people.
Really fucking hated it, meh, liked it, and really fucking liked it.
Mm-hmm. So, A-Train, what would you give Green Room?
I'm between a meh and a hated it.
Damn! Wow, okay.
Just because...
That's why I was like, you don't have no more criticisms besides that?
No, not really. Mainly because
Okay, so is it because, and give your answer, but is it because you didn't like the content of the movie or you thought it was just a bad movie?
I think it's because of the content.
Okay.
For the type of movie it was, I guess it was alright. But I am not a huge gore person. I don't really care to see all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. It was just not my cup of tea.
Okay. So between a meh and a hated it.
I would not
Damn.
watch it again. I'm sorry. I wouldn't.
Okay. No, you don't want to do this next year, Thanksgiving?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so yeah, I am the complete, almost damn near opposite end of the spectrum. I really fucking liked it.
Yeah.
Like, really fucking liked it.
I could tell by the way you were sitting up. You didn't relax at all during the
No,
movie.
I was tense, man. I was in that shit. I was gripping. I was like, man, look, I don't even know these motherfuckers. Let me out of here. Like, I don't want to be in this shit no more. I felt like I was there with them. I was like, this is bullshit. No, it was really, really good. Like I said, I liked everything about it. And I think it probably went up just from a liked it to a really fucking liked it, mainly because it kept surprising me. And it's hard, especially for like thrillers and horror movies and stuff, to surprise me anymore because I've seen so many.
Yeah.
And everything has a formula, but like I haven't been surprised like this from a thriller since Gone Girl. Like that was the last one where I was just like, man, like I did not know where this shit is going. Like, this is crazy. So yeah, this was just like that for me. Like I knew by the end, either they were going to live or die, but how they got there,
yes,
and the ups and downs to that point really kept surprising me, and I appreciated that. And I'm sorry that you're going to hear this squeaking sound in the background. My dog is going to drive us crazy if we don't let him chew on something. But that being said, that is it for the show. Remember, you can always find us at our home, onegiantleapforgeeks.libsyn.com. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Now, make sure to show us some love, so take your little fingers and go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, give us a rate, follow, review us, and all that shit.
Got any questions you want us to answer on the show? Any comments, criticisms, or you just want to say hi? You can email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks, or on Facebook, Reddit, and Instagram. Just search for One Giant Leap for Geeks. Bye!